Excluded from my sister's wedding, I decided to take a vacation instead. When the wedding started falling apart, my phone began to light up with calls and messages from my family. "You're overreacting, it's just a wedding," my mother said, but to me, it wasn't just a wedding. I hadn't been invited to my own sister's big day. So, instead of sitting at home feeling bitter, I booked a trip. A few days later, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. I stared at my screen, rereading the message for what felt like the 5th time. "Hey, just wanted to let you know the guest list is finalized and we had to make some tough cuts. Hope you understand. Love you. Tough cuts." That phrase kept echoing. In my mind, I wasn't some distant cousin or an old friend they hadn't seen in years. I was her brother, and Eva, the same sister I'd stood by through every emotional breakdown. Every failed relationship, every late-night crisis had removed me like an afterthought. I kept looking at the message, a slow wave of disbelief washing over me. I almost laughed, thinking it had to be some kind of mix-up. I picked up the phone and called my mom. She answered quickly, her tone cheerful. "Hey sweetheart, what's going on?" I didn't waste time with pleasantries. "I just got a message from Eva. She said the guest list is finalized and I'm not on it." There was a pause, long enough to confirm what I already suspected. "Oh honey," my mom sighed, using that same condescending tone she always used when trying to make me feel like I was blowing things out of proportion. "It's just a wedding. Don't turn this into a big deal. Just a wedding." I felt a sharp twist in my stomach. "Are you serious?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. "Mom, I'm her brother. How could I not be invited to my own sister's wedding?" She clicked her tongue like I was throwing a childish fit. "It's not personal. They just had to limit the guest list." But I'd already seen Ava's Instagram post. "Mom, she invited 150 people." Silence. Then a light, forced chuckle. "Well, you know how these things go. Weddings are expensive. Maybe they figured you wouldn't mind missing this one." I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. "Wouldn't mind?" I asked. "I've been there for Ava through everything. I helped her move twice after she lost her job. We even covered part of her rent, and I was the one who helped her through her last breakup. But now I'm not important enough to attend her wedding." "Oh, stop being so dramatic," my mother said with another long sigh. "It's just one day. You're overreacting." For a moment, I laughed, but it wasn't out of amusement. Overreacting, right? I already knew how this would play out. I'd push back. My mother would brush it off, and eventually Ava would offer a lukewarm apology. Then, I'd be expected to move on, because that's always been my role in the family. But this time, something shifted. If I wasn't worth a spot on the guest list, then I wouldn't pretend otherwise. I ended the call without another word and opened my phone. If I wasn't attending Ava's wedding, then I was going to spend that time somewhere far more me. I was booking a vacation. The more I thought about it, the more the anger built. I wasn't the kind of person who held on to small grievances. In fact, I'd let plenty slide over the years. Ava had forgotten my birthday more than once. She only reached out when she needed help. And my mother had always insisted I be the reasonable one. Ava could get away with anything, but this felt like more than carelessness. It felt like deliberate exclusion. I wasn't going to stay home sulking while my family carried on with their picture-perfect celebration. If I didn't matter enough to be included, then I wouldn't be available when it suited them. I powered up my laptop and began looking for flights. If Ava was going to have her perfect day, I would make sure to have the best week of my year. Within the hour, I had everything planned. A stay at a luxury resort in the Caribbean, a suite with a full ocean view, spa access, and a private beach. I'd always talked myself out of a trip like this, saying it was too expensive, but not this time. This wasn't just about a vacation, it was about making a point. By the time the wedding weekend arrived, I was already in the air, sipping champagne in first class. I took a photo, legs stretched out, drink in hand end, posted it with the caption, "Didn't make the guest list, but I think I'll be okay." The response was swift. A few of my cousins replied with laughing emojis. My aunt, the only one who ever seemed to speak honestly, commented, "Good for you, should have brought me along." But the most telling reaction came from my mother. She sent 3 messages in a row. "Where are you? Are you seriously skipping your sister's wedding over this? You're being petty. That word stayed with me. But I wasn't done, not by a long shot. I replied with a photo of the beach, white sand, clear blue water stretching endlessly into the horizon. The ocean stretched endlessly in front of me, framed by a postcard perfect view. I powered down my phone. I wasn't going to let anyone guilt me, not this time. For the first time in years, I wasn't putting my family first. I was prioritizing myself, and the feeling was freeing by the time I landed in paradise. Any lingering guilt had already faded. As I stepped out of the airport, a warm breeze carried the scent of salt and tropical flowers. A private car was waiting, a sleek black SUV, complete with chilled towels and bottled water in the back seat. This was far better than attending any wedding. As we drove along the coastline, I felt even more certain I had made the right decision. Back home, my family was likely caught up in last-minute wedding preparations. My mother was probably coming up with explanations for my absence. Ava was likely surrounded by bridesmaids, laughing, not thinking about me at all. But here, I mattered. Here, I was not an afterthought. I was the priority. The resort felt unreal, like something from a dream. Towering palm trees filled the open-air lobby, which welcomed the breeze straight from the ocean. Staff greeted me with a cocktail before I even reached the check-in desk. My room exceeded every expectation: floor-to-ceiling windows, a private balcony, and the most stunning king-size bed I had ever seen. I dropped my bags, stepped outside onto the balcony, and simply absorbed the moment. Then, just to make the contrast clear, I took a photo of the view and posted it with the caption, "When one door closes, another opens," preferably to a beachside suite with unlimited margaritas. I had no doubt it would reach my family and, honestly, I hoped it would. Maybe for once, they'd understand how it feels to be left out. And this was only the beginning. The first full day of the trip was perfect. I started with room service fluffy pancakes, fresh fruit, and coffee so rich it made every previous cup taste like water. Then, I spent the entire day doing exactly what I wanted. No obligations, no family tension. Just me, the ocean, and time that belonged only to me. By the afternoon, I was stretched out on a lounge chair by the infinity pool, a martini in hand, watching the waves move steadily toward the shore. Every so often, I glanced at my phone not to check in with anyone, but to read the growing reactions to my vacation posts. The comments kept coming. Cousin Jake, bro, where even are you? Aunt Lisa, okay, now you're just showing off. An old acquaintance from college messaged me, dude, invite me next time. Then, I received a notification that made me pause. I saw your post. So now, she was paying attention. I could easily picture the scene. Ava in her bridal suite, sipping budget champagne, scrolling through Instagram only to stumble upon photos of me, enjoying a luxury vacation while she was likely dealing with wedding day nerves. That image alone made me lean back in my chair, take another sip of my drink, and think, enjoy your special day, Ava. I hope it's everything you wanted. But just as the sun began to set, something unexpected happened. My phone started to light up again. At first, I ignored it. I assumed it was just more reactions to my photos. But then I noticed the names, Mom, Ava, Cousin, Jake, even Uncle Rob. Call after call, a flood of messages. My brow furrowed. I eventually picked up the phone and unlocked it. The first message was from my mother. Call me. It's an emergency. An emergency. During the wedding, I sighed, unsure if I really wanted to know. Then another message came in, this time from Jake. Dude, you're not going to believe what just happened. That got my attention. I sat up and scrolled through the stream of messages. It didn't take long to realize that something major had gone wrong. It was as if the universe had handed me a gift I didn't ask for but fully received. Because as it turned out, Ava's perfect wedding had completely unraveled. Message after message confirmed it. Jake again. Bro, you dodged a bullet. My mother. Call me right now. This is a family crisis. And then Ava. Please. Where are you? I need you. I leaned back in my lounge chair, took another sip of my cocktail, and kept scrolling. That's when I saw the message that actually made me laugh loud enough to draw attention. According to cousin Melissa, the groom walked out. I nearly choked on my drink. He left. That was far beyond anything I expected. Curiosity finally got the better of me. I texted Jake back. What do you mean he left? Jake responded quickly. Dude, during the reception, full meltdown. He and Ava had some massive argument, and then he just walked out. Left the venue entirely. Another message followed. Oh, and then Uncle Rob and Dad got into a shouting match about who's destroying the family's reputation. Grandma cried. The venue shut down the bar early. It's chaos. I leaned back again, quietly smirking. Ava had deliberately excluded me, convinced I wasn't necessary for her big day. And yet, the moment things went wrong, I was the one they all turned to. I could already hear my mother's voice in my head. Fix this. Ava is devastated. That was the next message. I didn't even open it right away. I already knew what it would say. Then came one from Ava herself. Please answer your phone. I need you. Suddenly, I mattered. I took a deep breath and replied with a single message. Sorry, I'm a little busy enjoying my overreaction. Hope the wedding was fun. Then, without hesitation, I blocked her number. I blocked my mother's as well and Jake's too, just in case he got caught up in their guilt campaign. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, signaled the bartender, and ordered another drink. While my family spiraled, I was here, in peace, in control. And for once, I wasn't the one being pulled in to fix anything. The next morning, I awoke to the rhythmic sound of waves crashing along the shore. The scent of the sea and blooming tropical flowers drifted in through the open balcony doors. I stretched, yawned, and for a moment, I almost forgot about the chaos unfolding back home. Almost then I checked my phone. Despite blocking most of my family, I still had over 20 missed calls, this time from unknown numbers. They were trying every possible way to reach me. A few voicemails had slipped through. Against my better judgment, I listened to the first one. My mother's voice full of panic. I don't know what you think you're doing, but this is not the time for one of your tantrums. Your sister is devastated. We need you. This family needs to stick together right now. I rolled my eyes and deleted it. Next message, Eva. I'm crying. I don't understand why you're doing this. You're my brother. I need you, please. Just call me back. Deleted. Then came one that actually made me laugh. Jake, whispering like he was hiding. Dude, Mom and Aunt Lisa are planning to show up at your apartment when you get back. Just a heads up also. Grandma keeps saying the wedding was cursed because you weren't there. It's hilarious. That one I saved. I tossed my phone onto the bed and stepped out onto the balcony. The sun was just beginning to rise, casting a golden hue across the ocean. I stood there, letting the light and warmth settle over me. Back home, they were scrambling to recover, trying to explain, to fix, to figure out how everything went so wrong. Meanwhile, I was here wrapped in a robe, sipping espresso, and appreciating the best decision I had ever made. And the most ironic part, they were now feeling what I had felt. When they left me out, forgotten, discarded, unimportant, that was poetic. In a way, but I wasn't finished yet. I picked up my phone, framed a shot of my breakfast fluffy pancakes, vibrant fresh fruit, and a mimosa shimmered in the sunlight, so bright it looked like it could blind someone. I snapped a photo of my breakfast pancakes, fruit, and that radiant drink and posted it with the caption, "Starting my day stress-free. Hope everyone back home is doing okay." Then, just for fun, I scrolled through my blocked messages, dozens of missed calls. I grinned, closed the app, and ordered another mimosa. I had no intention of calling anyone back. They could handle the mess on their own. I was on vacation. By midday, I was stretched out under a secluded cabana, sipping a tropical drink with a tiny umbrella. The sound of waves in the distance, the breeze soft and warm, everything felt calm. That's when my phone buzzed again. This time, it was a message from my cousin Melissa. "Okay, I know you're mad and, honestly, you should be, but you need to hear what happened after the wedding. Call me. You're going to love this." I raised an eyebrow. Melissa had always been the most level-headed of the group. If she said it was worth hearing, it probably was. So, against my better judgment, I called her. She picked up immediately. "Oh my God, you're actually answering," she said, clearly excited. "Okay, are you sitting down?" I looked around at the peaceful scene around me, the shade of the cabana, the drink in my hand, and the endless ocean ahead. "Yeah," I replied. "I think I'm in a good place for whatever this is." Melissa laughed, breathless. "Okay, so after the groom walked out, Ava completely lost it. And I'm not talking a few tears, I mean yelling, sobbing, throwing things at people." I smirked. "That sounds about right." She kept going, her voice full of energy. Everyone tried to calm her down, but it was chaos. And then, get this, Mom overheard Aunt Lisa say that maybe all of this wouldn't have happened if you had been there. I blinked. "Wait, what?" Melissa giggled. "Yeah," she said, "you're always the one who fixes things when Ava breaks. That if you'd been there, maybe you could have talked the groom out of leaving, or handled the situation like you usually do." I burst into laughter. "So let me get this straight. The same people who left me off the guest list are now blaming me for not being there to save the wedding." "Oh, it gets better," Melissa replied. "Mom told Lisa she was being ridiculous and then they got into a shouting match. Grandma stepped in and said Ava brought this on herself by disrespecting her family, especially her brother." I nearly spilled my drink. Melissa was laughing uncontrollably now. She literally told Ava, in front of everyone, "If you had treated your family better, you wouldn't be standing here alone, in your wedding dress." Right now, I leaned back, smirking. Wow, that's poetic. Melissa wasn't done. "Oh, and get this, your mom tried to contact the groom's family, hoping to patch things up, and his mother just looked at her and said, 'This is your issue now.'" I had to put my drink down before I spilled it from laughing so hard, so I asked, regaining my breath, "Where does that leave Ava?" Melissa sighed, still crying, still blaming everyone but herself. Last I heard, she was scrambling to salvage the ceremony with some kind of backup plan. But honestly, she's not bouncing back from this. I shook my head, still grinning. "You know what the best part is?" "What?" I took a long, slow sip of my drink. "I don't care." Melissa burst into laughter. "Honestly, I don't blame you. I just thought you'd appreciate knowing that karma handled it." "Oh, I do," I said, smirking. "Thanks for the update, Melissa. Anytime. Enjoy your trip, and for the record, you did the right thing." I ended the call more content than I'd felt in years. They wanted a wedding without me now. Thanks to their own choices, they had a disaster. I raised my glass to the sky and made a quiet toast to the best decision I've ever made. Then I turned off my phone and leaned back into the cabana, letting the breeze sweep away any remnants of guilt. For the rest of the day, I didn't once check my phone. I booked a sunset cruise, let the warm air wash over me, and ended the night with a 5-star meal by the sea, while my family struggled to recover from Ava's wedding collapse. I was savoring the finest steak I'd ever had. At some point, a thought crossed my mind, maybe I should feel bad for her. But then I remembered how easily she excluded me. No explanation, no hesitation, no, I thought, taking a sip of wine, before I turned in for the night. I took one final photo of the view, sun dipping into the horizon, wineglass in hand, and posted it with a single caption, "Zero regrets." Then I powered off my phone again, let them sit with the consequences. I was done being their backup plan. The next morning, I woke up feeling lighter than I had in years. No guilt, no family tension, no last-minute chaos I was expected to fix. Just me, the ocean, and an entire day of peace ahead. I stretched, ordered breakfast from room service, and out of curiosity, turned my phone back on. Big mistake. Within seconds of turning my phone back on, the notifications surged in. My mother. You need to stop acting like a child and call me. Ava, I can't believe you're doing this to me. You're so selfish. My mother again. This isn't funny. Ava is heartbroken. Do you even care? An unknown number, probably my aunt. We need to fix this family before it's too late. I sighed and shook my head. It was almost unbelievable how quickly they had shifted from completely excluding me to now expecting me to fix everything. Then one message stood out. Melissa again. Okay, I know you're ignoring everyone, but please read this. Your mom is trying to gather the family for a discussion when you get back. Just a heads up. I almost laughed out loud. They really thought I'd just come back, sit down, and let them guilt me into pretending none of this happened. Not a chance. I typed back a quick response. Thanks for the warning, but I won't be there. Melissa? Wait, what do you mean, me? I'm extending my trip. They wanted me out. Fine, I'm out completely. I could practically see her face equal parts, shocked and impressed. A few seconds later, she replied, okay, that's iconic. Tell me everything when you're back, whenever that is. LOL. Smiling, I set my phone aside and opened my laptop. With just a few clicks, I officially extended my trip by another week. No family, no drama, no tense sit-down talks, just me, the ocean, and the peace they never let me have. And the best part, they couldn't stop it. Before heading down to the beach, I sent one final message, this time to both my mom and Ava. Oh, so now you want me around. Sorry, I'm too busy enjoying my overreaction. Have fun cleaning up your own messes. Then, for the last time, I blocked them. I put my phone down, ordered another drink, and let the sun warm my skin. There was no guilt, no tension, no regrets. Just peace, and it was the best decision I've ever made.